All right, so time for the end of day recap for yesterday, which was Monday, October 21st. Starting off with in daily time frame, daily swing is bullish, daily internal is bullish. 4 hour is going to be bearish. We just had another 4 hour sub break right over here. So let's go down on the 15 minute and see the POIs that you could have taken. So our session started right here. We got an order flow shift to the upside. Two areas where you could have looked for a trade. One would have been at the extreme, and one could have been at the last sell to buy candles, right? The last reaction before we broke the high, which was previously the order flow shift that we got over here. So let's go to the 1 minute. Right off the bat, though, notice that I wasn't a big fan of this right here. This is literally one push up. So what kind of structure are you really trading from? This is more so like a 1 minute type of deal. I'm not a fan of it. Matt wasn't a fan of it. Nonetheless, he came in, took the last point of inducement, tapped into our extreme. You didn't really get too much momentum here until this point right here, where if I believe your RR wasn't there, see 1.9. You could have called this a fake order flow shift because price came back, swept the low. So where's my EID at? Tapped into the extreme again, mitigating it further down. Could have entered on this momentum candle here. I didn't. This is just too clean of structure for me. It's one leg. You're trading the 1 minute time frame at best. Price came in to the extreme as well, to the extreme of the extreme, which is, if I can just grab this here. But realistically, guys, I mean, is it here? Is it here? Is it here? This is what it would have been, which would have been like 0.8 to maybe half a pip. But when you switch up to the 15 minute, you're going to notice a couple of things. One is price is extremely bearish. The other thing is going to be that this over here just looks like liquidity to be ran. So I would not be looking to take any trades here. All right. But that being said, -1R. I mean, it is what it is. If you took it, I wouldn't have taken it. That doesn't constitute a structure for me. You can even tell in the 15 minute how clean that leg is. So let's move on to the daily time frame of GU. So daily swing is bullish. Daily internal is bearish. We had an ISB. I think we talked about this before. We plan on price to retrace somewhere around this area here. Even potentially somewhere in here we'll get a reaction, or even here. These are areas where we may get a reaction from, or where we could turn around from. So bearish is our 4 hour leg. We retraced back, we reacted to the 4 hour supply. We didn't take the liquidity up here that I wanted us to take. I mean, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I did want us to sweep up over here. Whatever. You can't always get what you want. So starting off, our session began right around here. So starting off, we had finally a break to the downside from this long leg, an order flow shift to the downside. Could you have looked for sales at the flip? Well, yes, you could. Let's go ahead and just mark out all the areas. So nothing broke there, and we finally got an order flow shift here. So let's take a look. This is the only valid POI where, actually no, this is also a valid POI, where you could have looked for buys, even though I would definitely not advise buys. And actually, a break here doesn't constitute a buy for me, because at the end of the day, this is your leg. That's your 15-minute leg. This would be an internal order flow shift, but even then, it's hard to call this an internal order flow shift because the way your internal legs work, right? Aside from this right here, is, let me show you guys, from here to here to here to here. I'd probably call this all one leg here. Oh man, it's just too difficult, man, to call this one leg. I wouldn't. I wouldn't call that one leg. So nonetheless, let's look in the lower time frames and see if you could have got an entry. So 4 hour, I mean not 4 hour, 15-minute supply, last point of inducement would have been there. Did price give you a entry candle? Well, the answer is no. Price did not. You wouldn't have entered on that one or that one, so no trade there. No EID, no MID, nothing. So if you wanted to go ahead and call this an internal order flow shift, which I wouldn't have, just solely because of the 15-minute bearish pressure. I mean, just look at this. Price is just headed to town from our session. Look how bearish it is. It broke here, and then do you really want to be trading against the trend when on a single internal order flow shift? And it's not even a good pullback right here. It's just a single, one candle, two. Yeah, it's just, there's so many red flags with it. Not the biggest fan. But theoretically, if you did, you could have taken a buy at the last point of inducement, which was swept. You would have entered on that momentum, covered the low, targeted the high, and banked yourself 5R. Actually, nope, just missed it. Just barely missed it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. For our purposes, this would be a break-even trade. But regardless, I wouldn't even have jumped in. So after that, price didn't retrace to any refinement, so moving on to the next pair. Did we already go over GU? Yeah, I think we did. Let's take a quick gander. Yep. Yeah, we just went over GU. Alright, let's take a gander at UCAD. So, UCAD daily swing is bullish. Daily leg is also bullish. 4 hour is the same as our daily leg, so that's bullish. I'm going to start my 4 hour trend from here now. We had a decent pullback, swept some liquidity, so now we're off. So we had a sub break right in here. Let's mark with our 4 hour. And did we get any trades here? So there's nothing here that's going to stop price from going up. That is a fact. I'm not crazy about taking buys in this supply, but there is really nothing here stopping us. And even on the 1 minute, I'm fairly certain that there's nothing over here to the right that's going to stop us. Let's take a look. Yeah, what do you think is going to stop you there? Nothing, right? So starting off from the 15-minute, let's delete some of this stuff right here. This is useless for us. So our session came to start right here. So we had a break to the upside. Price retraced down to the M15 flip. I was looking at this, but I did not enter because I felt like I was, trying to overthink this POI in this trade. And whenever you're trying to overthink it, that's when you start to see things you're not supposed to see, and it ends up backfiring. But this would be considered a 2C entry. Price created an order flow shift, which turned out to be a fake order flow shift on the 1 minute. Price swept it, gave you an order flow shift here. Price broke the high. Well, not broke the high, but broke the structure, came back in. This, to me, I wouldn't have taken it because if you can tell, price reacted to the EID here. This is the liquidity that was swept. This was the liquidity's reaction right here. So to me, this is done with now. But for Matt and his end of day recap, he still, I believe, is going to journal this as part of the statistics. But even he said he wasn't a big fan of taking that long, and he didn't. So we'll leave that as it is, 2.88R. I'm going to journal it as well, but I'm going to make sure I put some notes in there that I wouldn't have taken this trade because of the EID being used up here. And I just feel like if the longer I were to take these type of trades in the long run, it's not going to work out. So let's go back to the 15-minute and look at the next POI. So price broke the high again, came back, 15-minute extreme. This one's a lot more cleaner. Price came into the last point of inducement. We had a nice reaction here before it swept it. And then, let's fix that. As you can tell, price had a little bit of momentum here and here, but overall at the end, came in, reacted, swept in, momentum, entry, 3R. So overall today, you could have had, you know, about 3R from the first trade, 3R from the second, and then a loss. So for a total of 5R for the day. So with that being said, I'm going to release a video of me going over the win I took today, as well as an update on how that account is doing. But other than that, peace.